What's up, y'all? I hope everyone has been having a good weekend. And if you're getting a 3-day weekend because of MLK Day, that's even better. I want to do a quick shout out to a new channel. So please check him out. Chasing Baseball's Immortals. I'll have a link in the video. Last time I checked, which was earlier today, he had 10 videos and 10 subscribers. Also, a big thanks to John Mangini. I don't know if he watches my videos or not, but he helped me figure out what sort of top loader I needed for my most recent pickup. It's a 1939 Gaudi's Premium R303 card. I'll try to show it when that top loader comes in. But if you're curious, the card is too big for a 5x7 top loader. I was about to bite it and order an 8x10 when for some reason I hopped onto the face pages and ended up sending John a chat. Next thing I know, I'm learning there's these 6x9 holders. Who knew? All right, let's roll to some card stuff. I watched a video by Dan over at Old Sarge Collects. I'll have a video, or I'll have a link to his video that I'm referring to and to his page as well. Anyway, you should check him out if you don't already. But Dan was showing his personal collection of Ty Cobb cards. And I heard something that got me digging a little bit extra. Something I've already been researching, but I definitely didn't know this. And I promise I'm getting to the point. So please stick with me as I get there. So like I said, Ty Cobb was in the Chemical Corps branch of our fine U.S. Army. And I thought, wow, that is crazy. Why did I think that was crazy? Because one of the Cincinnati Reds' most famously forgotten Hall of Famers was also in the Chemical Corps during the First World War. In fact, they both served together in the Chemical Corps in 1918. But that isn't the craziest part. Are you ready? From the Department of War page, it reads, he, being Ty Cobb, was there, and this is a quote, he was there for 67 days as a captain serving under Army Major Branch Rickey, who was also a famous baseball player and manager. Coincidentally, there were other famous baseball players in the unit, including Army Captain Christy Mathewson and Army First Lieutenant George Sisler. Cobb and his fellow soldiers were assigned to the Gas and Flame Division, where they trained soldiers in preparation for chemical attacks by exposing them to gas chambers in a controlled environment. So, if you're following me in this video so far, you are probably thinking that I haven't mentioned any Reds players, and you're correct. You may also be wondering how all these ball players got into the Chemical Corps. And honestly, I'm curious about that too. I thought maybe it was a background thing or something. Okay, back to the Chemical Corps. So George Sisler had a mechanical engineering background from the University of Michigan and was a second lieutenant. Christy Mathewson was a fellow captain with Ty Cobb and even has a write-up about his time in the service on the National Museum of the United States Army. I'll have that link as well. He had an education, by the way, in forestry at Bucknell University. In the museum's write-up, it says, again quoting, Mathewson volunteered alongside other players such as Ty Cobb, Branch Rickey, George Sisler, and the Chemical Warfare Service, or the CWS. The CWS was created in response to Germany's use of chlorine gas in Belgium, beginning in April 1915. The U.S. had not explored chemical weaponry before, but saw the need to understand chemical warfare. The U.S. Department of War developed the CWS in June 1918, aiming to develop both offensive munitions and defensive equipment. Unquote. Okay, so y'all have heard me say the same names several times now, right? And I still haven't said a Cincinnati Reds player's name, right? So with all that being said, I'm going to flip this thing around and introduce you to the only two cards that I have of this Hall of Fame pitcher, whose unforgettable name we all have forgotten. Born on May 3rd, 1891 in Culpeper, Virginia, Eppa Rixey would eventually become a Hall of Fame pitcher, playing 20 seasons in the major leagues from 1912 through 1933. He missed the 1918 season, as I said, as he was with his fellow players Ty Cobb, Christy Mathewson, George Sisler, and Branch Rickey, serving our country during the Great World War. He received an undergraduate degree from the University of Virginia in chemistry. Though I tried to do some research, I cannot find a lot about his time in the United States Army. These are the only two cards I have in my collection so far. This first is a 1923 W572 card. This card is interesting because the picture clearly shows a P on his hat, which was for the Philadelphia Phillies, the team he was playing for between the years of 1912 and 1920. However, on the bottom of the card, you can see the team and league name clearly being the Cincinnati Reds in the National League. If you do not know a lot about the W572 cards, here's a little I can tell you. It was a strip card set. Obviously, black and white pictures and a blank back. Some of the cards from this set share the same pictures as those from the E120 American Caramel set. But I don't know if all the pictures are the same or not. Steady she goes there. All right. Next card. The second card isn't actually a card. It's a game piece. This is the 1921 through 1930 Major League Ball Die Cuts Eppa Rixey card. The game is called Major League Ball, the indoor baseball game, Supreme. It apparently had all 16 teams with 14 die-cut players used for each team. And the same pose is used for each position. So every player would have this position. If you look closely, you can see a bit of coloring on the piece. Apparently, the reason for the wide range of dates was that the card game was made over the entire decade. And this one, as you can see here. And there was no way to show the differences between the seasons. When I found this, I just kind of fell in love with it. Oh, by the way, you can see a little red there if you look. So he's at least in his red uniform, which was the thing I also wanted. But with that's it for me, guys. I just wanted to share a little bit about Eppa Rixey. He is the man with the unforgettable name that nobody can remember. Hey, thanks for watching. Bye.